The Avianca crash is just one subject that Seacliff sculptor Katie Seiden has worked with. She takes her subject matter from news headlines, stories that have shocked Long Island and the world. Among the others, the murder of Lisa Solomon and the attack of a Central Park jogger. Katie's works are on display now at the Country Art Gallery in Locust Valley through March 1st, and Katie Seiden is with Lee in our studio now. Ladies.
Carol, thank you very much. Katie, welcome to News 12. Some people have got to say that these works are disrespectful, distasteful, and very macabre. Why do you use headlines, shocking news, murders, plane crashes, to inspire you to make sculptures?
Well, these subjects are all around us. Unfortunately, they're in the news and they come and go very quickly. And my idea is that as an artist, I feel that we should be remembering these events and these terrible tragedies instead of letting them go in our mind and have another one replace it very quickly. And I think of these sculptures as markers, almost monuments to the victims.
In front of us we have your latest one, and this is part of the Recall series. This is Cove Neck Recall's Avianca Flight 52. Tell us about it.
Well, this happened very close to us as I was preparing for the show, and there have been so many plane crashes in the headlines. I've done some others too. I went to the site and I picked up these flares. The red part here are actual flares that the police had set out, and the wires really reminded me of the trees. I almost thought of the plane as a bird that couldn't keep aloft, and there's a feeling of flight. And as you see close up, there is a small plane that I've made resemble the Avianca. And it's also cast in concrete, which is a very final material.
There are quite a few pieces on exhibit, and we have black and white photos of some of them. I'd like to show the folks at home, and I have to say some of these might be a little bit disturbing to take a look at. This first one is Matthew Solomon recalls Lisa Solomon. Tell us about this one.
Well, this one is very, very disturbing. The whole idea of a person treating another person, in this case Lisa, as trash, as garbage, is really terribly shocking.
We see the trash bags there that Matthew Solomon used to wrap up the body of Lisa Solomon. We see Christmas balls and Christmas garland because that was around the time of year that the murder took place. Down there at the bottom, which was very disturbing for me to look at, was what I assumed to be Lisa's frozen hand, which is the first thing they saw when they located the body.
Now, I wasn't even aware of that. What that is the pieces cast in the actual box that the garbage bags came in. And that is a hand, a man's hand, on the garbage bag box, holding on to the garbage bag as if it were a neck, and that's what it meant to me, and I just left it that way. And I know what's shocking is the contrast of Christmas and a garbage bag, but I'm a little bit of a reporter like you, and this is really what happened.
Let's move on to the next one. This is Vincent Laser recalls Carol Ann Zagorski, John Phillips, and Peter Phillips. For the folks at home, this is the case in which the wedding limo was hit in Lido Beach. Tell us about this one.
The bride and groom are inside, and around them are all these pieces of the cars, and they're actual bride and groom. I've taken one that I bought that would go on a wedding cake, and it shows the horror of, it's almost like a scene, and this was bought by a collector.
Let's take a quick look at the next one, which is Robert Chambers recalls Jennifer Levin. This is Jennifer's diary, representative of Jennifer's diary, that I believe the defense wanted to try to get their hands on and could not for the trial.
That's correct. I was convinced that she was a regular girl, and I wrote in the diary as trying to be an 18-year-old girl. It's open to the day she died, and all the pages on the right are glued together, symbolizing that she will never live that life.
You say that these are meant to be small gravestones so that people will not forget the horrors and the tragedies behind these headlines.
Yes.
Yet you got a call from, I believe, Jennifer Levin's family.
Yes.
Her brother-in-law was very upset. You told me that you've gotten calls from the support groups like Parents of Murdered Children. Explain to them and possibly to us why you do this.
I think that after they speak to me, they realize that my heart and my feelings and my compassion is with the victims. Absolutely. And this is a way of, in the way Picasso did Guernica, reminding us of something awful and saying, why does this happen in our society? It happens too often, too frequently. And my feelings are completely with the families. And I would not really like to think that they are upset. I know a few of them are. I hope they understand that I really am very much within.
Yeah, Katie, just very quickly before the interview, I asked you if you were planning on doing one about the Kelly Antinius murder in Valley Stream, and tell them what you told me.
I said many subjects are very, very painful for me to work on, and I don't quite know how to, and certainly children abuse is one of them. And that is, in that category, as is Lisa Steinberg.
All right, Katie Seiden, thank you very much for coming in and really making us think about the stories that make the headlines that we report on every day. The exhibit is now through March 1st, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carol, we go back to you.